The story begins in a quiet town in Florida. A young boy named Rob lives in a small hotel with his father. One morning, Rob wakes up and gets ready for another school day. While waiting for the school bus, he decides to take a short walk in the forest near the hotel where he lives. The area is calm and silent, and Rob slowly walks between the tall trees. While walking through the forest, Rob suddenly remembers a very painful moment from his life. A few months earlier, his mother passed away. He remembers standing at her funeral, feeling lonely and heartbroken. Even now, the memory still hurts him deeply, but instead of going back, Rob keeps walking quietly through the woods. As he explores the forest, he suddenly notices something strange. In the middle of the trees, there's an old wooden cabin that looks completely abandoned. It seems like no one has lived there for a long time. Curious to see what it is, Rob slowly walks closer to the cabin, but the moment he gets near, he freezes in shock. Right outside the cabin, there is a huge tiger locked inside a metal cage. The animal looks strong and powerful, but at the same time it looks trapped and helpless. For a moment, Rob and the tiger stare at each other. It feels like the tiger has already noticed him. Feeling scared, Rob slowly steps back. His heart starts beating very fast, and he decides it's better to leave immediately. Without wasting another second, he turns around and runs back toward the hotel as fast as he can. After reaching home, Rob quickly grabs his backpack and rushes outside to catch the school bus. But the bus ride is never easy for him. Some boys on the bus keep making fun of him. They laugh at him and throw mean jokes at him again and again. Rob stays quiet and doesn't respond. He simply looks down and tries to ignore them. Suddenly, the bus stops at another stop. A new student gets on the bus. Her name is Sina. The moment the bullies hear her name, they start laughing loudly and making rude comments about it. Sina feels angry, but she doesn't want to make the situation worse. Instead of arguing, she quietly walks to a seat and sits down. Later that day in class, the teacher is explaining the lesson to everyone, but Rob is not paying attention at all. His mind is still thinking about the tiger he saw in the forest. While the teacher talks, Rob takes out a piece of paper and starts drawing the tiger. In his imagination, the tiger is not trapped anymore. He imagines the tiger moving freely and walking proudly through the forest. While drawing, Rob also remembers something about his mother. She used to be very good at carving things out of wood. It was one of her favorite talents. She even taught Rob how to carve small wooden figures. Thinking about those moments makes Rob feel both happy and sad at the same time. Suddenly, the teacher calls Rob's name. She tells him that the principal wants to see him in his office right now. Confused, Rob stands up and walks out of the classroom. He has no idea why he has been called. When he reaches the principal's office, the principal asks him to sit down and then carefully looks at his legs. Soon it becomes clear that Rob has a serious skin problem. Because of this condition, his legs often get red, sore, and injured very easily. The principal explains that some parents at the school have started to worry. They are afraid that their children might catch the same problem if they stay close to Rob for too long. The principal tells Rob that he must keep taking the medicine that was recently given to him. Then he says he will write a letter to Rob's father. In the letter, he plans to suggest that Rob should stay at home for a while until things get better. After hearing this, Rob quietly leaves the office. While walking through the hallway, he notices a teacher whose books and papers have fallen onto the floor. Without thinking twice, Rob quickly runs over and helps her pick everything up. The teacher smiles warmly and thanks him for helping. She introduces herself as Miss Mills. Then she notices the paper Rob is holding in his hand. Curious, she asks him what he has drawn. Rob is a very shy boy, but he slowly hands the drawing to her. When Miss Mills sees the picture, she is impressed. It is a drawing of the tiger Rob saw in the forest earlier that morning. She tells him that he is very talented and praises his drawing skills. Wanting to encourage him, Miss Mills tells Rob that he should keep drawing and continue improving his talent. She also mentions that she will be going on a short leave, but when she comes back, she would like him to come and show her more of his drawings. Rob nods and promises that he will. A little later, Rob waits outside the school building for the day to end. He stands quietly near the entrance as students begin leaving their classes. Suddenly, he notices a group of kids running across the schoolyard. They are chasing the new girl, Sina. The group keeps teasing her and making fun of her name again and again. After hearing their jokes for too long, Sina finally loses her patience. Angry and tired of the bullying, she suddenly turns around and punches one of the girls. But the girl she hits is much bigger and older than her. Within seconds, she pushes her back hard, and Sina falls to the ground. Seeing this, Rob becomes worried. Even though he is scared, he runs toward them to stop the fight. He tells the bullies to leave Sina alone and stop bothering her. But this only makes things worse. Now the bullies turn their attention toward Rob. They start moving toward him, ready to attack him too. Realizing this, Rob quickly runs away before they can catch him. A little later, Sina gets on the school bus. Her clothes are messy, and her hair is completely out of place after the fight. When the other students see her like this, they start laughing and making jokes again. Feeling angry and embarrassed, Sina walks to the back of the bus and sits next to Rob. She starts complaining about how much she hates the town and the rude kids who live there. Rob listens quietly. Then he tries to make her feel a little better. He tells her about the problem with his legs and explains that he has a skin condition that often causes wounds and irritation. Sina suddenly gets an idea. She says that if Rob's condition spreads to her, maybe she will also be forced to stay home and won't have to come to school anymore. She even asks Rob if he can somehow give the condition to her, but Rob calmly explains that it doesn't work like that. His condition is not contagious, so no one else can catch it. After hearing this, Sina feels a little bad for him. She tells Rob that if he has to stay home from school, she will bring his homework to him so that he doesn't fall behind in his studies. Later that evening, Rob's father reads the letter sent by the principal. As soon as he finishes reading it, he becomes very angry. He cannot believe that the principal is still worried about Rob spreading his condition to other students. Rob's father has already explained many times that the problem is not contagious, but the school still refuses to understand. Even so, he decides that it might be better for Rob to stay home for a while. After that, he carefully injects medicine into Rob's leg to help treat his condition. Then he goes to the kitchen to continue preparing dinner. Later that night, Rob sits quietly in his room working on one of his favorite hobbies. Using a small knife, he starts carving a new figure from a piece of wood. While working, he keeps thinking about the tiger he saw in the forest earlier. The image of the animal is still very clear in his mind. As he continues carving, he decides to make a small wooden figure that looks like Sina. After finishing his work, Rob lies down in bed and slowly falls asleep. During the night, he has a strange dream. In his dream, he sees Sina running freely through the forest, but she is not alone. She is riding on the back of the huge tiger, moving quickly through the trees like they both belong there. The next morning, Rob helps around the hotel where he lives. He works with Willie, the friendly cleaning lady who takes care of many of the rooms. After working for a while, Willie decides to take a short break. She smiles and gives Rob a piece of gum as a small treat. A few hours later, the school bus passes by the hotel. At that moment, Rob is outside taking care of the small garden. When the bullies on the bus notice him, they immediately decide to bother him again. One of them throws an object straight at him. The object hits Rob hard in the ribs, causing a sharp pain. Rob holds his side and feels angry and tired of always being treated this way. For a moment, he starts imagining something different. He imagines what it would be like if the tiger he found in the forest could help him stand up to those bullies. Not long after that, the bus stops nearby and Sina gets off. She walks over to Rob and hands him the homework that was given in class that day, just like she promised. Rob thanks her and then decides to share something important with her. He tells her about the tiger he discovered in the forest. The moment Sina hears this, she becomes very excited. She immediately asks Rob to take her there so she can see it herself. Rob explains that the tiger is deep inside the forest, so they will have to walk through the woods to reach it. Before going, Sina asks if she can borrow some of Rob's clothes. So the two of them run into the motel and go into Rob's father's room. While waiting, Sina notices many small wooden statues placed around the room. They are all carved by Rob. She looks closely at them and is very impressed by his work. While admiring the carvings, she tells Rob that the famous artist Michelangelo was also a sculptor before he became known as a painter. She smiles and tells Rob that he is a real artist too. Then she suddenly finds a wooden figure that looks exactly like her. It is the little statue Rob carved the night before. Sina laughs and says that all of his creations are amazing. Hearing so many compliments makes Rob feel shy, and he doesn't know what to say. To hurry things up, Sina reminds him to get the clothes she asked for. Rob quickly hands them to her and goes outside to wait. After a few minutes, everything is ready. The two friends then head into the forest together until they reach the cabin where the tiger is kept. When they finally stand in front of the cage, both of them are amazed. The tiger looks huge and powerful, even while trapped behind the metal bars. Sina stares at the animal and asks Rob why such a beautiful creature is locked inside a cage in the middle of the forest. Rob says he isn't sure, but he guesses that the tiger might belong to Beauchamp, the owner of the motel where he lives. Hearing this makes Sina very angry. She says it's wrong for someone to keep a wild animal trapped like that just for their own entertainment. She believes the tiger deserves to be free. Rob agrees with her, but he explains that freeing the animal won't be easy. The cage has a very strong lock, and they don't have anything that could break it open. Just then, they hear the sound of a vehicle getting closer. It's Beauchamp coming toward the cabin. Not wanting to get caught, Rob and Sina quickly run away through the forest. When they return to the motel, Rob's father is already there waiting for him. Rob introduces Sina to his father. After greeting him politely, Sina walks over to a nearby phone booth to call her parents so they can come pick her up. Meanwhile, Rob's father talks with his son. He asks about the new girl and feels happy that Rob has finally made a friend to spend time with. A little while later, Rob returns Sina's clothes to her. The two of them wait together until her parents arrive. Soon, a car pulls up in front of the motel. It's Sina's mother. The moment she steps out of the car, she starts scolding Sina for disappearing for several hours. Then she notices that her daughter is wearing someone else's clothes and demands to know why. But Sina is not afraid of her mother's strict attitude. Trying to calm the situation, her mother turns to Rob and explains that Sina usually only listens to her father. Hearing this only makes Sina more upset. The argument between mother and daughter grows louder. Finally, Sina angrily gets into the car, and the two of them drive away while still arguing. Rob watches them leave, feeling confused about everything that just happened. After that, he quietly goes back inside the motel. The next morning, Rob is again helping Willie with the cleaning work around the motel. While they are working, Rob asks her something that has been on his mind. He asks what she thinks about animals being kept in cages by humans. Willie pauses for a moment and then shares a story from her childhood. She tells Rob that when she was a little girl, her father once gave her a small green bird as a gift. She loved the bird and enjoyed its company every day, but after some time, she started feeling sad seeing the bird trapped inside a cage. She believed it should be free, so one day, she secretly opened the cage and let the bird fly away. When her father found out, he was very angry and punished her badly. He told her that by releasing the bird, she had only made it easy food for a snake somewhere in the forest. But even after hearing that, Willie says she never regretted what she did. In fact, even today, she sometimes dreams about that little green bird flying somewhere in the sky and singing happily. Later that day, Rob is cleaning near the side of the motel when he suddenly comes face to face with the motel owner, Beauchamp. The man calls Rob over and says he has a small job for him. He tells the boy that if he helps him, he can even earn some money. Rob is a little confused, but he agrees to listen. Beauchamp then explains that a few days earlier, he captured a very rare wild animal, but the animal needs food and daily care, and the man doesn't want to do the work himself. So he asks Rob if he would like to help take care of it. The moment Rob hears this, he already knows what animal the man is talking about. Still, he acts like he doesn't know anything. Rob tells the owner that he cannot go right now because his father asked him to help Willie with the work at the motel, but Beauchamp quickly gets angry. He rudely says that Rob's father has no authority over him and orders the boy to come with him immediately. Feeling pressured, Rob follows him. Soon they arrive at the cabin in the forest where the tiger is locked inside the cage. Rob pretends to act surprised when he sees the animal. Beauchamp proudly explains that someone who owed him a lot of money gave him the tiger as payment. Now he keeps the animal there. Then the man shows Rob how to feed the tiger. While doing this, the tiger suddenly jumps toward the cage fence. The movement scares Beauchamp badly, and he falls down in fear. Rob almost laughs at the moment, but quickly controls himself so the man doesn't notice. After that, Beauchamp hands Rob a set of keys and tells him that from now on it will be his job to feed the tiger. While leaving, the man mocks the tiger and calls it useless. But the tiger suddenly reacts. It sprays waste toward Beauchamp, covering him in the mess. The man starts shouting in disgust and quickly runs away with Rob. Before reaching the motel again, Beauchamp stops and warns Rob about something important. He tells the boy to keep everything a secret. If anyone finds out about the tiger, it could cause big trouble for him. Then he gives Rob a plastic bag filled with raw meat for the tiger and promises to bring more the next day so the boy can continue feeding it. Just then, a car passes by. It's Miss Mills, Rob's teacher. She slows down the car when she notices Beauchamp standing there looking messy and suspicious. She asks them what is going on. Rob quickly tells her that everything is fine. Beauchamp then rudely tells the teacher to mind her own business and leave. Before driving away, Miss Mills looks at Rob and reminds him to visit her classroom once he returns to school. After she leaves, Beauchamp threatens Rob again, warning him not to tell anyone about the tiger. Later, Rob hides the bag of meat somewhere inside the motel because he doesn't want his father to find it. Once the meat is hidden, he looks at the keys Beauchamp gave him. As he stares at them, a question keeps running through his mind. Should he use the keys to free the tiger? Right at that moment, the school bus passes by the motel again. Sina soon meets Rob outside, and she excitedly tells him that she wants to see the tiger again. The two friends quickly run through the forest and reach the cage. When they arrive, Rob realizes he cannot keep the secret anymore. So he tells Sina everything that happened with Beauchamp and explains that he has been asked to feed the tiger. Hearing this makes Sina very excited. She says that this changes everything because now they have the keys. That means they can finally open the cage and set the tiger free. She also explains that animals like that tiger are rare and should not be kept trapped. But Rob is not so sure about the idea. He remembers the story Willie told him about the bird she released. So he explains to Sina that if the tiger is set free, it might not survive alone in the wild. However, Sina refuses to accept that. She strongly believes the tiger deserves freedom no matter what. Then she makes a bold decision. She tells Rob that she will do whatever it takes to free the tiger, even if she has to do it by herself. While arguing, Sina suddenly grabs the cage and starts shaking it in frustration. Her anger quickly turns into sadness, and she begins to cry. Seeing this, Rob gently tries to calm her down. After a few minutes, Sina wipes her tears and decides to do something small to make the tiger feel better. She removes the canvas that was covering the top of the cage so the animal can feel the open air and see the sky. That night, Rob and Sina stayed there beside the cage. The two friends lie on the ground, quietly watching the stars while the tiger rests nearby. After some time, they return to the motel. When they arrive, they unexpectedly meet Willie, the cleaning lady. Sina is still upset and speaks to Willie in a rude way, but Willie doesn't get angry at all. Instead, she calmly talks to the girl and tells her that she understands how she feels. She explains that when she was young, she was also very rebellious and often acted the same way. However, Willie also gives her an important piece of advice. She says that Sina cannot keep acting out of anger, because life will not fix her problems for her. She needs to learn how to control herself and face things calmly. Hearing these words leaves Sina completely silent. A moment later, Willie gets into her vehicle and drives away while the two kids quietly watch her leave. Later that night, Rob returns home after saying goodbye to Sina. As soon as he enters, his father confronts him. He is holding the plastic bag that contained the raw meat. The man angrily asks Rob where that disgusting meat came from. Even though he was told to keep the secret, Rob refuses to lie. He tells his father that Beauchamp gave it to him. But instead of calming down, his father becomes even more angry. He believes that Beauchamp sent the rotten meat as a cruel joke, as if they were so poor that they would eat anything. Feeling insulted, he throws the plastic bag against the wall in frustration. After that, he sits down, trying to calm himself. Rob feels worried about his father and walks closer to talk with him, but the man tells him he wants to be left alone. So Rob quietly goes outside. To relax his mind, he starts carving another wooden figure, something he always enjoys doing. The next morning, Rob stands outside his room looking at the wooden animal he carved. In his imagination, the small statue comes to life and moves around him. A little later, Rob gives Willie a wooden bird that he carved as a gift. The woman smiles warmly and feels very happy to receive such a thoughtful present. Soon after that, the school bus arrives again and Sina steps off. When she meets Rob, she tells him that her mother is becoming more and more angry with her behavior. In fact, her mother has forbidden her from coming to see him anymore, but Sina has already decided that she will not listen to that rule. Instead, she asks Rob where Willie is. She says they should ask Willie for advice about what to do with the tiger. When they finally find Willie, the two kids explain everything about the tiger locked in the cage. At first, Willie doesn't believe their story, so Rob and Sina take her into the forest and show her the cage. The moment Willie sees the huge tiger trapped there, she becomes furious. She says that keeping an animal like that locked away is exactly the kind of thing Beauchamp would do. Sina quickly asks Willie what they should do and tells Rob that he should open the cage right now, but Willie stops them. She says that even though Beauchamp is not a good person, freeing the tiger may not be the right decision. The tiger has been living in captivity, and if it is suddenly released into the wild, it might not survive on its own. But Sina strongly disagrees. She angrily says that wild animals are meant to live free, just like the panthers that already live in that area. She believes the tiger will figure out how to survive. Willie listens to them, but calmly says something important. She tells the kids that sometimes the right decision is not always the safest one, and because of that, she believes they should not get involved in something so serious. Sina becomes even more upset after hearing this. She says she cannot wait for her father to arrive because she is sure he will agree with her and help her set the tiger free. But Rob suddenly says something that surprises her. He tells Sina that maybe her mother is right about her father. Maybe he is not the person she thinks he is. Those words make Sina extremely angry. She feels hurt and betrayed. In her anger, she ends their friendship and shouts that she hates him and never wants to speak to him again. Then she storms away. Seeing Rob standing there sadly, Willie gently asks him to come with her so they can head back to the motel. But after a few minutes, Rob notices Sina walking away in the distance. He suddenly runs after her. When he catches up to her, he tells her something important. He says he has changed his mind and is ready to free the tiger. Sina doesn't believe him at first, but Rob insists that he is serious. He says he is willing to do it for their friendship. Just then, Beauchamp suddenly arrives in his car. After briefly introducing himself to Sina, he gives Rob another order. He tells the boy to pick up another package of meat that will arrive at the motel later. Rob calmly agrees so he doesn't raise any suspicion. Beauchamp then says he has some business to settle with Rob's father and drives away. The moment he leaves, Rob and Sina realize they finally have their chance. They quickly run through the forest and reach the tiger's cage. Without wasting any time, Rob takes out the keys and unlocks the strong padlocks one by one. Even though they know the tiger has not eaten for 2 days, they still decide to open the cage. The moment the door opens, the tiger slowly stands up. Rob steps back and loudly tells the animal that it is free now. Sina gently tells Rob to calm down, saying the tiger already understands. The huge animal slowly walks out of the cage. It stops for a moment right beside the two kids. For a brief second, Rob and Sina carefully touch the tiger's fur. Then the powerful animal turns and begins walking toward the forest, a roar that echoes through the entire area. Rob and Sina watch it run deep into the forest, feeling proud that they did the right thing. But suddenly everything changes. A loud gunshot echoes through the air. Sina hears the shot and suddenly collapses to the ground, struggling to breathe from the shock. Confused and scared, the two kids run toward the road. There, they see something heartbreaking. The tiger is lying on the ground. Rob quickly realizes what happened. His father fired the shot to protect Beauchamp, who had been attacked and knocked down by the tiger. At that moment, Willie also arrives. Rob kneels beside the tiger and asks his father why he did it, but the truth turns out to be different. Rob's father explains that the situation was actually an accident. Earlier, Beauchamp had gotten into a violent argument with him and even tried to shoot him with his revolver. During the chaos, everything happened too fast, and the shot that hit the tiger was never meant to happen that way. Even though his father explains this, Rob is still overwhelmed with anger and sadness. He runs toward his father and starts pushing him, shouting that he hates him and doesn't want to live with him anymore. Then Rob demands something he has been waiting to hear for a long time. He tells his father to finally say his mother's name out loud. Since the day she died, his father has never spoken her name. Realizing how much pain his silence has caused, the man finally says her name, Caroline. The moment he says it, he breaks down emotionally and hugs his son tightly. Nearby, Willie gently hugs Sina to comfort her after everything that just happened. Meanwhile, Rob's father helps Beauchamp stand up. With nothing left to say, the motel owner quietly leaves the place. Willie then softly tells the children that the tiger is now in a better place. As she looks at Rob, she notices something surprising. The wounds on his legs seem to be healing much better now, which makes her very happy for him. After saying goodbye to the tiger, everyone slowly leaves the area. Sina then turns to Rob and apologizes for everything she said earlier. She tells him that he is the best friend she could ever have. As they walk together, they find the drawing Rob made of the tiger earlier. Sina looks at it and says it's a beautiful piece of art. Rob smiles and tells her she can keep it. To thank him, Sina gives Rob a small kiss on the cheek. Then the two friends walk away together. Even though the day ended with sadness, it also changed their lives forever. Because in the end, freedom means something different to everyone, and maybe the tiger finally found a place far better than that lonely forest.